Do words matter? Does what we say matter? Are words just words? Or are words things? It is said that words cast spells, and that's why they call it spelling. Words are energy, so use them wisely. If I was teased as a child, I was told to say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I didn't really believe it then, and as I got older, I realised that this wasn't entirely true. Broken bones can be healed with a cast, surgery and physio, but words have the ability to cut deep and leave emotional wounds that if untreated can leave scars that may never go away. As I got older, I discovered that words have power. They have the power to shape your reality. They can uplift you, they can put you down, they can move you forward, they can keep you stuck, they can set you back, or they can set you free. Words have the potential to make you laugh, move you to tears, drive you to anger, motivate you to do better, or comfort you. Just as any perceived positive words can make your day, any perceived negative words can do the exact opposite. Think about how a child will communicate who's tired or hungry or upset, but they don't have the words to express themselves, so they throw a tantrum. Or think about a person that's suffering from dementia that can't remember things, and they get frustrated that they're not able to articulate themselves in the way that they could, so they take it out on those closest to them. In this instance, it would suggest that words do have some importance. We all have a story to tell, and if we don't tell our story, other people will tell it for us. When we were younger, it was other people telling our story for us. We would be told who we were based on what they had seen. If we believed what was being said, we were likely to reinforce those labels, especially if we were told the same thing over and over again. If we were told we're intelligent and talented, we were likely to display our intelligence and talents, in the same way that if we were told we were inadequate, we were likely to display our inadequacies. What others said about us may have had an impact on us, but it was the words we said about ourselves that have the biggest impact. It's the words we use to describe ourselves that create our reality. It is the spells we cast on ourselves that either set us free or limit us. If we tell ourselves we can't, then we're less likely to try. If we tell ourselves we're not good enough, then we won't be. If we keep telling ourselves we're old, then we will act old. If we tell ourselves something isn't possible, then it won't be. But if we say I can, even when we're not sure, we'll give ourselves a chance. Now let me be clear, I'm not asking us to be deluded. Let's face it, we're not going to beat the 100-meter world record at 45 years old, but we can run a marathon and we can get in the best shape of our life. We can be honest with ourselves if we have the right words to express ourselves. I knew someone whose temperament could be fiery, and they knew deep down they could be difficult. If they got called ignorant, they'd reject the term. The reason was because in the dictionary, ignorant has 3 definitions. 1, lacking knowledge or awareness in general, uneducated or unsophisticated. 2, rude or impolite. 3, angry or quick-tempered. They agreed that 2 or 3 could be correct, but to them, 1 was an insult because as they saw it, they were knowledgeable, aware, educated and sophisticated. They refused to accept being labelled as ignorant because it was an insult to their intelligence. They'd make it clear that a more accurate definition was that they were either belligerent, from the Latin bellum, meaning warlike, or truculent, from the Latin trux, meaning fierce. Both are synonyms of each other that mean hostile, aggressive, defiant, quick to anger, or to fight. It might sound like they were splitting hairs, but to them, accuracy was important. They could accept being called belligerent as it was the truth, and they had no problem accepting the truth. Some say words are just words, but the next time you read a news article, listen to a song, or watch a movie, think about the words that are being used to describe people, places, or things. Ask yourself, what is the purpose of the words being used? What is the story being told? And what is the picture being painted? And if you don't understand the words that are being used, look them up in a dictionary, as it has the definitions of all the words we need to communicate, to uplift ourselves and to uplift others. I realised we could take words for granted. We may know how to use a word in a sentence correctly, but we may not know how to give its definition. For example, I knew what a dictionary was, but I never looked up its meaning. It wasn't until I looked it up that I found out that it basically meant a book of words. But it was when I looked up diction that I found out that came from the Latin decere, meaning to say. So our diction is the words we say. That took me down a rabbit hole of looking at other words with the word diction in it. If we go against our word, it's a contradiction. Contra from the Latin against, and diction for the words we say. If we see before we speak, it's a prediction. Pre meaning before, we find in words like pregnant or predecessor. If we act without conscious thought, or we become a slave to something, it's an addiction. If we speak evil, it's a malediction. Mal meaning evil. We find mal in other words like malpractice, malnourish, or malfunction. If we speak blessings, it's a benediction, similar to what is usually found in a church sermon. If we say a heartfelt goodbye, it's a valediction. Vale meaning farewell. Diction is, as I've said, the words we say. This is the speech given by a valedictorian when saying goodbye to their classmates. It's said that actions speak louder than words. This means we have to do something as well as speak. I'm of the opinion that if we can take control of our diction, we can take control of our actions and our story. We can control the story we're telling ourselves, and we can begin to have better outcomes. Words, like our thoughts, are things, and mastery over them is the beginning of mastery over ourselves. Bruce Lee said, we need emotional content. To me, this meant reacting with the right level of emotions at the right time. Sticks and Stones was supposed to teach me not to react to things. However, I think there are some things we're supposed to react to. Ignoring everything is just as detrimental as responding to everything. I'm of the opinion that exploring words and their meaning can help develop emotional content. We can decide what we want to give power to and what we don't want to give power to. We can decide what we react to and what we don't react to. I want to explore words, phrases, quotes, and idioms as a way to do that, and I want you to join me.